On News Hour tonight, ECOWAS down to 12 as bloc confirms exit of Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso. Months after a Lao Dam collapse, community faces ongoing food shortages, drought and fishermen migration. 20 people feared dead in boat accident in Benue State. On the foreign scene, Rwanda, Democratic Republic of Congo peace talks hit obstacle as mediator Angola calls off meeting. Hello and welcome to the News Hour tonight on Trust TV. I am Aisha Salihu. The news in detail. The Economic Community of West African States has set in motion plans to formalize the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali from the West African body. To this end, by July 25, 2025, the three countries will cease to be members of the sub-regional body in accordance with Article 91 of the revised ECOWAS Treaty. ECOWAS is, however, allowing for a transitional period until the 25th of July 2025 to keep ECOWAS doors open to the three countries. The decision was contained in a communique read at the summit of West African leaders on Sunday evening by the president of ECOWAS, Umar Aliu Toure. Trustee Viskenda Modu tells us more.
The decision on the three breakaway countries from ECOWAS was a significant item on the agenda at this summit. After an initial hard stance, ECOWAS had instituted diplomatic engagements with the three countries, led by Presidents Bassirou Faye of Senegal and Faure Gnassingbé of Togo. The three countries had, however, remained adamant, hence the ECOWAS decision.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, significant strides have been made in regional economic integration. The operationalization of the electronic certificate of origin and the continued implementation of the ECOWAS trade liberalization schemes have facilitated intra-regional trade. Additionally, the African Atlantic Gas Pipeline project promises to enhance energy access and drive regional industrialization.
At the opening of the summit, President Bola Tinubu, the chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS, had urged member states to maintain their fundamental responsibility to protect their citizens and create an enabling environment where they can prosper. He pointed out that security was not a luxury, but a necessity, while enhancing the living standards of their people was not an aspiration, but an obligation.
Equally, enhancing the living standard of our people is not an aspiration, but an obligation. Your Excellencies, over the years, ECOWAS has achieved significant milestones in strengthening regional integration, facilitating free movement of people, goods and services, and supporting democratic governance and conflict resolution. Initiatives such as the ECOWAS made Trade Liberalization Scheme, ETLS, the Common External Tariff, CET, and ECOWAS Investment Code, EIC, have bolstered economic cooperation and cross-border trade.
West African leaders have been urged to draw inspiration from Ghana's recent peaceful elections as a model of democratic maturity and commitment to national unity. And as ECOWAS nears its 50th anniversary in 2025, member states are being encouraged to recommit to the bloc's founding ideals of economic integration, peace, and prosperity. From the 66th ECOWAS Ordinary Session in Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
And those are the details of the ECOWAS summit right there. But joining us in the studio is Haruna Warkani, who is a former ECOWAS diplomat. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to hear from you. What does this mean for the future of ECOWAS?
Well, it's rather unfortunate that in the entire history of ECOWAS, this is one of the greatest mistakes, one would say, and it has shaken the foundations of the community beyond belief. The implications are far-reaching and could constitute a lot of hurdles for these member states. The member countries that have pulled out have simply exercised their choice of sovereignty over collective whatsoever in the sub-region. And I know last year, July, we did say that, this year, July, we did say that all these happenings are quite unfortunate because they were mishandled. There was so much precipitation in the beginning, overreaction on both sides, and now the resultant effect is that 3 members are leaving, and you can't force them because they are sovereign states, and they have very good reasons for leaving, which they have justified for the actions they have taken. They are going to pay a price because there will be some negotiations as to how to exit, particularly substantive financial obligations on both sides, which needs to be accounted for. And then it will affect some of the programs that ECOWAS has been running, something like free trade, liberalization, common custom, external tariffs, and community levy sources and all that. So there are a lot of implications that will be unfolding as time goes on. And we can also see one of the gravest points, which is the relationship with the former colonial master, being one of the very sore points that these countries have highlighted. Unfortunately, ECOWAS, and particularly Nigeria, and very, very unfortunately, is going ahead with a relationship with France, which is anti-ethical in a way, because neighbors cannot be rejecting France, and ECOWAS shaken because of that. And then we, here in Nigeria, are accepting France to come in and even establish a military base. It's very unfortunate that such decisions are being taken at this time. Now, even when you open a window, expecting that by July, when effectively the treaty provisions are completed, probably between now and July, you expect to see something. The body language from ECOWAS does not suggest that there is a window of an opportunity to talk peace with these members, because even they themselves, I'm sure, they don't want to leave, but they have been forced to exit the organization because they couldn't have kept a colonial master for over 60 years doing nothing. Insurgency was still on the increase, exploitation of natural resources was unmitigated, and so many things like that. So ECOWAS needs to do much more.
I hear you when you talk about the fears their exit is going to pose for the bloc. But then again, you know, we still talked about the window that ECOWAS is providing. But I'd like to hear from you. Is there anything in the charter about rejoining the bloc should these countries decide to change their trajectory?
Well, yes, there is. Mauritania, for instance, left ECOWAS in 2000, the year 2000. And somewhere along the line, she has indicated interest to say, well, maybe we might need to come back for obvious reasons. So we cannot rule out the 3 countries of the AES today, because there can be change of government tomorrow. You never can say. The readings can be different. ECOWAS too could ameliorate its own stand on some things, which could make it easy. But like I said, the body language and actual pronouncements by ECOWAS doesn't seem to create an impression that you really want to talk peace with these people, because these are very important things. You have to respect their sovereignty, you have to respect their choices, and then see what were the problems and begin to address them. But like I said, if one of their cardinal demands was the position of France in West Africa, and then Nigeria as the prime ECOWAS member state is going ahead full steam signing agreements with France. I mean, a neighbor rejected, and we are taking it in. We have become like a dustbin, which is very unfortunate, including a member and a non-ECOWAS member country, that is Republic of Chad, just asked the French to leave.
Okay, very well then. I guess we can only hope to look out for the events that will unfold during this window before July 25th, 2025. There we had Haruna Warkani, who is a former ECOWAS diplomat, speaking to the decision made by the ECOWAS summit today in Abuja. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to more stories, months after the collapse of the Alau Dam in Benue State, the community is suffering food shortage, drought, and migration of fishermen. Our correspondent, Hamisu Matazu, reports that Maiduguri and its environs also suffer water scarcity as pipelines connecting the city were destroyed in one of the worst floods to hit the city in 30 years. The report.
In September 2024, one of the worst floods in 30 years devastated the people of Borno State in northeast Nigeria. In the early hour of Tuesday, 10 September 2024, the Alo Dam collapsed. Alo Dam, a major water reservoir in Kunduga local government area, is about 15 kilometers south of Maiduguri. It was constructed in 1984 to suppress floods and also serve as a water source for irrigation and domestic use. In the wake of the 2024 flooding, authorities claim unusually high rainfall prompted the dams to collapse. But there were signs at least a month before.
Farming is the only occupation I do. I do it to feed my wives and 17 children. But the flood washed away all the millet, guinea corn, maize, and coffee. We worked so hard to grow, and the farmlands were completely washed away. Until this time, I have never missed the yearly rain feed and dry season farming.
Local in Alo says that over 300 people relied on the dam for subsistence farming. But this year, there is no much water for agriculture.
We are in a very dire situation. My farm and that of my husband were submerged on the day of the flood, and all our crops washed away before turning the land into desert. Our vegetable farm where we used to cultivate watermelon, onion, tomatoes, and peppers were also destroyed.
Standing where his fertile farmland used to be, Usman Mala remember how the dam shattered before his very eyes. He blames government for not taking action despite repeated calls by the community. For many farmers like Usman, all that is left now is scorched earth and what now seems like a desert. The erosion swept the land clean. The United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, estimate that crops and food destroyed by the flood will have fed 8.5 million people for 6 months. This further deepens food crisis and hunger in the country. Fishermen who live in the Alo Dam area for decades are now fighting for survival. Many have succumbed to the threat of their livelihood and are migrating, making the situation even worse.
The water is draining away very fast, and no fisherman can do without water. That's why both the fish catchers and buyers are leaving the areas to other locations. More than 1 million people are tied to this dam for their livelihood, but more than 50% have now given up. We are waiting to see if this embankment project by the state government will yield results.
Bukar Ali, a resident of Bulabulin, says since the flood receded, his community has not had flowing water. He has had to buy drinking water.
We don't have water to drink. We have a reservoir here, but the water content has turned black, so we operate to use it. We now buy 25 liters of jerrycan at 100 naira. We can't afford to be buying the water at this cost. Let the government know our situation and fix the supply.
Since the flood water receded, we have not been seeing pipe-borne water from Alo Dam. and the boreholes built by the NGOs stopped working. Now, the commercial water is very expensive. We barely bathe our children once in 2 days, and the government has discouraged us from using stream water.
This means Mustapha will be spending 45,000 naira monthly for water for his household. This forces him to fetch water from the stream to wash his clothes and for other house chores.
Severe frustration while searching for water every day. Now I need 1,500 to 2,000 every day to buy a jerrycan of water from cat fushers, fetching from a long distance.
But as the water shortage intensified in Bulabulin, the government scrambled to salvage the city from drought. Some residents in nearby Gwange seems to get enough water to waste, obviously ignorant of the danger it portends. In an effort to stem the tide of spillage from the dam, the state government has been shipping truckloads of boulders, sand and gravels to block the seepage. Villagers and workers on site also painted a scary portrait of the grave implications and tragedy it could have on lives and the economy. Water from the dam support a large volume of food production. A hydrologist at University of Maiduguri, Dr. Musa Malam Aji, explained how the flood disaster impacts on water supply.
When you look at the dam itself now, there is also major issues that is concerning now. One, because of this flood has brought up a lot of sealed sands, must have filled off the volume of the capacity of the dam itself. The dike has been broken. So whatever comes from the upstream of the dam, it will just go through the broken dikes and then dissipate somewhere. So there is the level of the water in the reservoir itself is diminishing, or it has diminished.
For decades, the structural integrity of Alo Dam has been tested, showing signs of impending collapse, but it was left unattended until it finally did. Despite the devastating impact of human life and environment, there are still no sign of a strategic plan to protect people and the environment. As the dry season hits hard, a new rainy season slowly creeps in, the question remains: have authorities learned any lesson from their inaction in the past? Or is history bound to repeat itself?
We revisit the devastating Alo Dam flooding. Here is a quick look at key issues leading up to the flooding.
In September 2024, one of the worst floods in 30 years devastated the people of Borno State in northeast Nigeria. In the early hours of Tuesday, 10th September 2024, the Alo Dam collapsed. Alo Dam, a major water reservoir in Konduga local government area, is about 15 kilometers south of Maiduguri. It was constructed in 1984 to suppress floods and also serve as a water source for irrigation and domestic use. Seasonal rainfall from Gada River is a major source of water for Alo Dam. In the rainy season, the dam often swells to the brim and declines in the dry season. At full capacity, the dam contains the same amount of water as 112 million football fields filled with water 1 meter deep. That same amount of water would fill 44,800 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
At least 20 people, mostly women and children, are feared dead following a boat mishap on the river Benue on Saturday near Ocholonya in Agatu local government area of Benue State. The victims were reportedly returning to Doma in Nasarawa State after attending a market day in Ocholonya village when their wooden boat capsized. The chairman of Agatu local government area, Melvin James, confirmed the incident on Sunday. He said that the victims were traders from Apochi and Odenye communities in Doma, Nasarawa State. The chairman added that efforts are underway to coordinate with Nasarawa State officials to console the affected families, as he further disclosed that the Nigerian Navy had been contacted to assist in rescue operations. However, conflicting reports about the number of casualties persist at the time of filing this story, as some sources claim 20 bodies have been recovered, while others suggest that several people remain missing. Attempts to reach the spokesperson for the Benue State Police Command, Catherine Anene, were unsuccessful, as her phone was unreachable at the time of filing this report. To other stories, hundreds of women and children in Beta Village, Gizawa local government area of Kano State receive medical care in a shop equipped with just one bed, which has been converted into a makeshift hospital. The village's only health facility, built in the 1990s under the administration of Kabiru Gaya, has been abandoned by health workers due to its dilapidated state, sparking fears of imminent collapse. Trustee Ahmed Dati visited Beta Village and found this report.
Hajia Juwere Dalha, a female community member, donated the shop in her house to serve as the dispensary and treatment center for people living in the area. Women from the neighboring villages attend prenatal and antenatal care inside the shop. Nazifi Abdullahi is the officer in charge of the facility with 5 workers and 2 volunteers.
My challenges is that is a failure of building. We don't have a building health facility. We are now in some small shop.
He listed lack of office accommodation and medical personnel as their biggest challenge, though malaria drugs are given free under the rollback malaria program. Another mother, Ali Al-Qasim Baita, who brought her baby for immunization, said women in the area face difficulty getting medical attention, especially for complicated cases. My appeal is for the government to rebuild and upgrade the health facility we have here. Sometimes we have to travel to Munjibur or Geza General Hospitals during emergencies. So many lives were lost in the process. But if you have a well-equipped hospital here, many lives could be saved. Al-Qasim Ishaku is the village head of Baita, and he appealed to the state government to come to their aid, as the facility caters for over 8,000 residents who live in the community, in addition to others coming from the neighboring villages. The facility caters for at least 8,000 people in Baita village alone. And when you add women coming from villages like Jeka da Omo, Danziri, Kadawa, Warba, Daurawa, Galadimawa, Koya, and Gargeri, the number could be over 10,000. Baita village, located close to Minjibur Wasai Dam, is a remote area prone to flood, making movement difficult during the rainy season. Ahmad Datti, Trust TV News, Kano.
In health matters, postpartum hemorrhage or excessive bleeding after childbirth remains one of the leading causes of maternal mortality globally. In many communities, the situation is dire, with women losing their lives to a preventable condition. While experts continue advocating the way out, women are required to take precautions for the successful maternal journey. Hassan Koli has more.
Medical experts, postpartum hemorrhage or PPH accounts for the majority of maternal deaths in the state. Despite global advancements in healthcare, many women face avoidable risks during childbirth due to a number of reasons, including ill-trained personnel and limited access to life-saving interventions.
In any form of prevention, we always like to categorize our prevention into primary, secondary, and tertiary. The primary prevention, it's most of what I've discussed, the antenatal care, and also involving the government, ensuring that the government make available hospitals for antenatal care, make sure that our meals are fortified with the necessary nutrients to ensure that our blood is optimal. Then the most important is the government. The government has to ensure that at least in every village or in every locality, they have hospitals which can handle most of these complications. Because if you can remember, I stated that the commonest causes is the uterine atony, and every maternity or every hospital in any village should be able to handle that cause of postpartum hemorrhage.
According to medical experts, despite having recorded huge success in convincing pregnant women to seek medical care, there is still a long way to go.
Every woman that is planning to get pregnant should know that she should be on folic acid or fesolate tablet, that is iron tablets. Those tablets will help her build up her PCV. So when she has a good PCV right from the start of the pregnancy, because pregnancy usually drains her blood, so it helps in reducing her Paxil volume. So when she goes into the pregnancy with a good blood volume, it helps in reducing the incidence of that postpartum hemorrhage after delivery, firstly. Secondly, every woman that becomes pregnant should present to the hospital for proper antenatal care.
As the fight against postpartum hemorrhage continues, experts insisted that no woman should die while giving life. From Gombe, Hassan Kohli reporting for Trust TV.
Still in health, millions of Nigerians remain unable to afford quality health care, as many are excluded from the National Health Insurance Scheme. Rising medical costs have pushed countless individuals into dire circumstances, often resorting to unhealthy practices in their quest for alternatives. In this report, Victoria Tokolo explores this growing challenge, speaking with healthcare practitioners and residents in Lagos to uncover the realities and potential solutions. The report.
Access to healthcare remains a challenge for many Nigerians due to financial constraints. Medical practitioners have urged the federal government to subsidize healthcare costs and expand the National Health Insurance Scheme to include a wider range of essential and affordable medications. They also recommended policies requiring corporate organizations with 3 or more employees to provide healthcare provisions, easing the financial burden on individuals and improving access to quality care. Pharmacies and community healthcare providers, speaking to Trust Television, also highlighted the need for government action to strengthen Nigeria's universal healthcare system and ensure better health outcomes for all citizens.
What we need to do is that we have to equip our workers, give them proper training. Because when workers know what they are doing, know their work well, know what the work is all about, what they do, how to attend their patients, and know what to give at any point in time. It will help the health the sick people to get better.
I think by creating more awareness, organizing a program for all those elderly ones that can't afford hospital bills, they can just create a outreach for them. They can help them with free medical checkup and giving them free jobs.
To know that everybody deserves equal treatment. Neither you are poor nor rich. Everybody deserves equal treatment. So the way we can have access to all these things is that government should provide these things so that everybody will have access to it. Like the primary health care, everybody is supposed to have access to everything, because primary health care starts from the grassroots. So it's not everybody that has that money to purchase and to have access to good health.
A cross-section of Lagos residents shares their perspectives.
They should do more free medical checkup. They should do more, because I would say in this country I can see most people do have the kind of problem of like high blood pressure, hypertension, this kind of thing, and it is due to the problem of what we have in the country. Understand? Because many people cannot afford to buy many things on their own, because not everybody has money to buy things on their own. Understand?
Yes, there are some hospitals that if they rush patients go there. Some of them, they do not have oxygen. Some of them, they don't know how to attend to patients very well.
Allocating sufficient resources from the budget to healthcare is crucial for improving medical facilities and primary healthcare centers to acquire modern equipment. Nigerians have urged the federal government to prioritize strategic investments in hospitals, equipment, and healthcare services to build a system where citizens can access critical treatments locally and ensure better healthcare for all.
Away from that, the Fulani social-cultural group Miyetti Allah Kota Hore has unveiled a cattle international market in the Karu local government area of Nasarawa State, targeted at tackling farmers-herders clashes across the country. Abdullahi Bello Badejo, the national president of the association, who spoke during the event at the weekend, said the establishment of the international market would foster integration with other ethnic nationalities in the country and also to sustain the late Sardona of Sokoto, Sir Ahmadu Bello's legacy. Badejo, who was represented by the North Central chairman of the group, Ibrahim Adamu, explained that the new market would add the economic value of not only the northerners but all the Nigerian citizens. While commending President Bola Tinubu for creating the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development, he, however, reiterated the association's commitment to continue to give massive support to him in order to ensure the success of his administration. You're watching the News Hour tonight on Trust TV. Still ahead. Bread. We'll bring you more news after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Let's have another look at some of our top stories. We told you that ECOWAS down to 12 as bloc confirms exit of Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso. You also heard, months after a Lao Dam collapse, community faces ongoing food shortages, drought and fishermen migration. And now to other stories. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekperikpe Ekmo, has announced plans to establish gas power plants in various parts of the country to tackle electricity challenges. He made this disclosure during a courtesy visit to the Benue State Government House while inspecting the Maiduguri gas power plant. The minister highlighted the plant's potential to address power shortages, aligning with President Bola Tinubu's vision of utilizing gas resources to drive Nigeria's economy. He also emphasized that the initiative would help curb the frequent vandalism and theft of power lines, which have been major causes of interrupted electricity supply nationwide. In his remarks, the Deputy Governor of Benue State, Usman Kadafur, expressed gratitude to the federal government for sustaining the gas power facility. He noted that the plant has provided a vital alternative power source since disconnections from the national grid caused by terrorist activities.
Reiterate our commitment to support all the projects, especially the exploration of NFPC oil in the Chad. I want to assure you of the first, which is power plants in the state. The Russian government will continue to support all the activities in our state because I believe we are receiving enough people are going to benefit best from this project that is cited in the state.
The gas storage is for 2 days, and they are working on this massive one in front of us that will be taking gas for up to 8 days. This is improvement, and this is a product of the idea of the management of NNPC that they need to supply power. This is interpreting the dream of the new president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to drive the economy of Nigeria using gas. And I believe in due course this will be replicated in other states of the Federation. But this test case is a proof to me that yes, this thing can work when you have determined people that are ready to interpret the language of the government.
In matters of politics, the People's Democratic Party has denied reports that it invited former President Goodluck Jonathan to join the 2027 presidential race on its platform. Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Ibrahim Abdullahi, denied the reports in an interview with BBC Hausa, saying the party did not issue its presidential ticket to Jonathan. He said the report that PDP has issued its presidential ticket to former President Goodluck Jonathan or invited him to contest the 2027 presidential election is not true. He also added that PDP had done enough for Jonathan, and as a member of their party, there was no way they would woo him. Abdullahi, who explained that they were yet to discuss the issue with Jonathan, said they have 12 governors and many other prominent politicians who are eligible and competent to contest the presidential election. To other stories, fake information often spread to manipulate public opinion or ridicule individuals and institutions has become a global menace. The problem of fake news is not only plaguing Nigeria, but has also become a significant challenge worldwide. In this report, experts raise alarm over the dangers fake information poses to individuals, communities, and government institutions. Trasives Bello Musa has more.
The advancement of information technology has given rise to digital platforms that enable rapid communication across the globe. While these platforms offer numerous benefits, they have also become potent tools for spreading fake news or misinformation.
Deliberately spread to deceive or manipulate public opinion, and for so many other reasons, because some people actually spread fake news just to get clicks on their websites and so on. But the key thing is it's not a genuine information, and it's been spread into the public.
You know, fake news kills. Fake news can destroy the world.
So I will tell you that actually for many times that people who are good into posting all kind of trash has caused so many challenges in the aspect of peace, stability, causing distortion, causing chaos, causing instability in the total atmosphere of which you have people today.
The spread of fake news through social media and other digital platforms is alarming in Nigeria and around the world. However, experts believe that these menace can be effectively addressed.
Countering fake news is a very, very important thing as journalists. So there's need to have more training, you understand, on how to fact check the news, to make it realistic in such a way that you are bringing a news that is factual for people to believe in what you are posting, you understand.
Fact check, for example, some information, you may need to actually fact check this information before you spread. And there are many ways of doing that. Today, you can verify a picture because fake news could be in the form of a picture. You can verify video because it can also be in the form of video, even audio.
Digital platforms serve as vital tools for sensitizing citizens about national development. However, the Minister of Information and National Orientation has warned that if left unchecked, they could continue to undermine the country's progress.
Through this institution and the platforms associated with it, governments are able to educate citizens on the policies, programs, and initiatives of government. They also serve as a vital platform for addressing misinformation, which, if left unchecked, can erode public trust and undermine our collective progress. We all know what fake news, misinformation, hate speech has done to our society. All of us, of course, this is not a Nigerian problem alone, but we all have a collective duty to come together and fight this menace for the good of all.
Although the previous administration in Kaduna State had scrapped the Ministry of Information. The minister emphasized that state-level information ministries are essential for promoting national cohesion. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
More than 200 suspects who were linked with the terrorism activities in different parts of the country have been convicted by the federal high courts in the country after they were found guilty of the offences, Daily Trust reports. Some of the suspects, according to the National Counter-Terrorism Center and the Office of the National Security Advisor, were sentenced to death, life imprisonment and 20 to 70 years, depending on the gravity of their offence. Daily Trust reports that the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation under the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, in collaboration with ONSA, had been overseeing their trials. Hundreds of the suspects were being tried by 5 federal high court judges in phases at the KNG detention facility over their involvement in the heinous crimes, with over 500 convictions secured in the past. Giving an update on Sunday after conclusion of Phase 6 of the trial that was held between December 9 to 13, 2024, the Department of Strategic Communications in ONSA explained that a total of 237 cases were heard from the trials. The department stated that among those sentenced to maximum penalty were individuals found guilty of heinous offences, including attacks on women and children and destruction of religious sites. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercepted multi-billion naira shipments of methamphetamine and loud, a potent strain of cannabis concealed in automobile spare parts imported from Canada. The cargo, intended for distribution during the Christmas and New Year season, was tracked across 3 continents before being seized at the Tinkan Airport in Lagos. On December 12th and 13th, 2024, NDLEA recovered a total of 83.301 kilograms of methamphetamine from 2 consignments. One shipment contained 5.001 kilogram of meth hidden in a Toyota Camry, leading to the arrest of businessman Isaac Onwumere. The second shipment, bound for the Ladipo market, held 867.5 kilogram of loud and 78.3 kilogram of meth, resulting in the arrest of Nwanolue Emeka and Friday Ogbe. The seized methamphetamine is worth 124.95 million naira, while the 867.5 kilogram of loud has a street value of 2.17 billion naira. The operation followed months of intelligence gathering and joint examination with customs and other port stakeholders. These successful interceptions mark a significant achievement in NDLEA's efforts to combat drug trafficking, particularly during the holiday season. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has stated that the establishment of 4 new tertiary institutions, renovation of primary and secondary schools in Zaria will help the ancient city to retain its status as a center of learning while providing more opportunities for the whole north and other parts of Nigeria. He made the assertion at a meeting with executive members of the Zaria Educational and Development Association when the Speaker inspected some primary schools renovation projects in the ancient city on Saturday. The inspection of the projects alongside roads and bridges construction projects in some neighboring villages heralded the groundbreaking ceremony for the 4 new institutions in Zaria slated for Sunday. They include Federal College of Education, College of Health Sciences, a National Open University campus, and College of Legal Studies.
As the contractor, when I visited the place, he said between 6 months to 1 year. the project will be completed. The good thing that you need to know is that we have provided the money completely, what the contractor needs to utilize. So he doesn't have to wait for another budget cycle for him to access money to finish. Everything has been provided under the 2024 appropriation bill. So hopefully between June next year to December next year, we are hoping that that place will be completely ready for use.
Troops of the Nigerian Army's 6th Brigade operating under Operation Golden Peace and Sector 3 Operation Wellstroke said they have successfully thwarted a robbery operation, rescued 3 kidnapped victims and recovered weapons in a series of operations recently carried out in Taraba State. This was contained in a statement on Sunday by the Brigade Acting Assistant Public Relations Officer, Captain Oni Olubodunde. He said the troops, while patrolling the Takum-Katsina-Ala Road, intercepted an ongoing robbery near Kasuwa Shenu in Takum town. The troops' swift action, according to him, led to the arrest of a suspect, Emmanuel Thomas, or Mia, who was alleged to have been found with a locally fabricated pistol and 2 rounds of 9mm ammunition. In a related operation, which the Army said took place on December 13, the troops, while responding to a distress call from Manzala village in Yoro Local Government Council regarding bandit activities, rescued 3 kidnapped victims whom, according to the soldiers, have since been safely reunited with their families. Journalists have been urged to prioritize professionalism and objectivity in their reporting, avoiding stories that could incite crisis in the country. The call was made on Saturday by security agencies during a one-day media training for journalists themed Ethics and Security Considerations in Media Coverage of Military Operations held in Jos, the Plateau State capital. Trustees Adomusa reports.
The event, organized by the Correspondence Chapel of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Plateau State Chapter, in collaboration with Operation Safe Haven, aimed to equip journalists with essential skills on security considerations in media coverage. Speaking at the event, representatives of the security agencies, including the police and Nigerian Army, emphasized the importance of sensitivity in reportage. While not restricting journalists from reporting on security operations, they urged them to exercise caution to avoid fueling tension.
Never sensationalize in a way that would incite fear or misunderstanding. Therefore, while reporting military operations, you must consider accuracy and verification of information, because misreporting can lead to confusion.
Understanding military structures and operations is essential for effective media coverage in Nigeria. The media holds power to influence public perception and understanding of military activities. By fostering better relationship training journalists and ensuring ethical reporting practice, the media can contribute positively to national security.
When appropriate report is given, definitely it will go a long way. And the Commissioner of Police is advising the media to always give more positive reports about the military and other forces, so that it will boost the morale of the populace.
One of the resource persons, Ephraim Sheyi, also cautioned journalists against biased reporting and emphasized the need to verify facts before publication.
For the needs and interests of various parties to be met. The more journalists understand the conflict, the more they will be better equipped to report on events and processes in ways that enhance the parties to achieve peaceful resolutions. While journalists can contribute to the peaceful management and resolution of conflicts, they should not promote the agenda or interests of a particular group or advocate a particular solution.
Earlier, The leadership of the Correspondence Chapel stated that the training aimed to foster a responsible media environment that balances the need for transparency with the demands of security. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And now to developments away from Nigeria. The highly anticipated peace talks scheduled for Sunday between the leaders of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo to address the ongoing conflict in eastern DRC were called off, according to the Angolan presidency. Angolan President João Lourenço, the African Union's mediator for the conflict, held a one-on-one meeting with DRC President Felix Tshisekedi. However, it remained unclear whether Rwandan President Paul Kagame, who was expected at the talks, had arrived in Angola. The summit had raised hopes for a breakthrough in resolving the crisis in eastern DRC, where the Rwanda-backed M23 militia has seized significant territory, displacing thousands and fueling a dire humanitarian situation. However, the Congolese presidency revealed that negotiations stalled over Rwanda's insistence that the DRC engage in direct talks with the M23 rebels. And finally, in sports, Wiki Tourist Football Club maintained their impressive form with a commanding 2-0 win over visiting Barao Football Club, Kano, in Bauchi on March Day 2 of the 2024-2025 NNL season. The match, held on Saturday at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium, showcased the Bauchi Elephants' determination to dominate. Adamu Imam has more.
The breakthrough came early in the 18 minutes when relentless pressure forced Barrow FC into an own goal, handing Wiki Tourist the lead. The first half ended 1-0 in favor of the home team. In the second half, technical advisor Abdou Mekaba made strategic substitutions that increased the team's intensity. The decisive moment came in the 68th minute when John Tayo was brought down in the penalty box, and in Wiki a penalty. Imamu Balamagaji stepped up confidently and converted, doubling the lead for the Bauchi side. This victory placed Wiki Tourist at the top of the Northern Conference C table with 6 points and 4 goals from 2 matches. After the game, both coaches expressed optimism about their team's performance.
I'm satisfied very well, because particularly in the first half, we want to finish the game in the first half. We created so many scoring opportunities, but we were able to score one. One goal can win a game for you, and I'm happy with that one goal. The second half, we have another goal. It means a lot for the team. If we can win 2-0 away from home, win 2-0 at home, we have shown something that, yes, the team is ready to go.
I don't think we have the lapses because the way we train, as I said earlier, they're fully according to our instruction. So we don't have any lapses. We're just going back to our drawing book, see the reason why we lose the match.
Coach Mekaba praised his players for their efforts and urged them to maintain the momentum while improving in key areas. He also called on Wiki supporters to continue backing the team with prayers and unwavering support as they aim to return to the NPFL next season. Wiki Tourist's next challenge is an away fixture against Mighty Jets of Jos on December 21st, 2024.
And that ends the news hour tonight on Trust TV. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.